What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Broadway Joel, the voice of Dominican boxing. And today we're gonna talk about a little bit about everything. Obviously, y'all know if y'all come on my show, y'all know I'm talking Dominican boxing, especially after last weekend. We had two crown champions. Uh I also want to talk about that this Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. I will be interviewing the WBA regular strawweight champion, uh, Eric Mini Pac-Man Rosa. So for you guys who are a fan of the little guys, definitely go check that fight out. The guy's 5-0, already has a WBA regular. Y'all know how I feel about the WBA regulars. I'm not a fan of it, but if at 5-0 this guy got one, that's pretty impressive. I have seen some of his fights. I like the way he fights. My Taino brother, Puerto Rican rum in the building. Shout out to you. Salute, my fellow Taino brother. Yeah, man. Salute to you too, my brother. But yeah, man. This Saturday again for you guys who, even if you're not necessarily a fan of the little guys, but you're a fan of me and you like what I'm doing as far as interviewing all the Dominicans, check out my interview this Saturday, man. Eric Mini Pac-Man Rosa. A lot of people think he's a very, very talented fighter in his weight class. And I agree. He is a very talented fighter. And I'm looking forward to this Saturday interviewing him. But I wanted to start off with this article from Boxing Scene, and maybe we could discuss it. Matter of fact, let me put the link in the bio, man. I like when people call in and we have a conversation. For whatever reason, people used to call in all the time. Not anymore. People seem to not want to call in, which is fine, I guess. But I miss that part where people used to call in and we either have a debate or they ask a question and shit like that. So if you guys want to be a part of the conversation, the link I just put in the bio, I'll pin it right now. Hold on, give me 1 sec. Let me pin that. And boom. All right. So the link is pinned to the bio. So if anybody wants to be a part of the conversation or ask a question or have a debate with me, click that link. I'm with all the smoke, whether you agree or disagree with me. But getting back to what I was saying, I wanted to start off this stream by talking about this article from Boxing Scene. Bob Santos, who you guys remember, if you guys follow the channel, I interviewed before. He's training a lot of Dominicans, and this article is titled "Bob Santos on Being the New Leader in Dominican Boxing." I mean, I'm the voice of Dominican boxing, so if anybody's crowning a leader, it should be me. But I'm being funny. No, but yeah, shout out to Bob Santos, man. He's a really, really great dude. So I wanted to specifically focus on these two parts. So this is the Boxing Scene journalist. He handled it in a Q&A fashion. This is one of the questions he asked. It was brought to my attention that it is likely the first time in history that Dominican Republic has more champions than Puerto Rico and Cuba combined. Puerto Rico and Cuba obviously have a richer history in the sport, but what can you tell us about the current state of boxing in the Dominican Republic? I just want to talk about the question. Forget the response. Yo, I didn't even know that Dominican Republic has more world champions than Puerto Rico and Cuba combined. Oh man. So that's what I'm saying. We taking over little by little. The Dominicans, we taking over. This is gonna be our sport in a second. In a minute, y'all gonna be talking about the Dominican Mexican rivalry. Shout out to my Mexicans, by the way, man. Yeah, they definitely in terms of the Latinos, they definitely the best boxers. But my point is, I didn't know that. DR has more champions than Puerto Rico and Cuba combined currently. That goes to show that Dominican Republic has definitely did a big step up, because we've been the laughing stock of boxing for a while. Like, we've been that country that nobody expects. Oh, he's Dominican. Oh, he's just gonna get gassed out. Oh, he's not gonna win a world title. Oh, he's no good. And look, according to this journalist, I believe his name is Ryan Burton. I'm not too familiar with. I've read his article, but I'm not too familiar with him as far as who he is. If he's like a very well researched guy, but if he's working for Boxing Scene, that's a legit website found it interesting. I'll read what Bob Santos had to say in response to that question. He said, "I believe that the Dominican Republic has always had good fighters, but it is now only now getting the type of infrastructure needed to shine on the world level. They have produced champions in the past, but now with local promoters like Sean Boxing Promotions, more talented fighters than ever are coming through the pipeline. In the United States, Dominicans have traditionally received the same support, haven't traditionally received the same support as other Latino fighters, but with my affiliation with Al Heyman and the Cubas Jr., that is changing. We have a tremendous success with Garcia Puello and Carlos Adames. Michelle Rivera and Elvis Rodriguez are other Dominicans who work with PBC and look like for future world champions. I believe that Dominican boxing will become bigger and better and the not so distant future." So this is somebody who has a lot of experience in boxing. He told me he's been 40 years in the boxing in boxing, and 30 of those years have been in the professional boxing world. So this is somebody who has a lot of experience. Also, I'll read another part of the article and then I'll leave the article alone. But he said the plan for Garcia and Puello is to stay active and land major fights in the very near future. We should hopefully have some announcements in the upcoming weeks. Adames is up next on October 8th against Juan Macias Montiel, who gave Jamal all that he can handle last year. Look for him to be the next Dominican to shine on Showtime. What I wanted to focus on that part was he was saying, yo, that Garcia and Puello, to expect an announcement being coming out sometime in the next coming weeks. I mean, as far as with the Puello situation, that doesn't surprise me because Puello, he has a mandatory that he has to take care of Ismael Barroso. So like if in 2-3 weeks they announce that, you know, they reached an agreement to fight, I wouldn't be surprised because I kind of am anticipating that fight happen. But if they was to announce a fight in 2-3, even a month from now about Hector Luis Garcia, that who he's gonna fight, that would be impressive. I would be impressed, especially if he stay active, especially if he fights before the year ends, which I doubt happens, but you never know. You know, there's boxing, so we'll see what's going on as far as with that. But I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And Bob Santos is definitely doing a great job with the Dominicans. Look, you know, you don't need more further proof than what's happened this Saturday. So I'm glad he's the one reaping the benefits of the rise of Dominican boxing. And by the way, Puerto Rican rum, I know you in the chat. He's also a Taino brother. Bob Santos is Puerto Rican, so he's a Taino brother. And yeah, he's got all the Dominicans, and this past Saturday he had them both looking good. Viva Hector Garcia, Stevenson Garcia 2023 fire emoji. Hey man, I would love that fight. I would love that fight for Garcia, and for the simple fact that that's the fight he wants. It's a unification fight, but just being realistic, Garcia's with PBC, Shakur's with ESPN. And you know, and it's not like Garcia's this big draw where it's like, well, you know, they'll work with each other because, you know, Garcia is such this popular fighter. If we're being honest, he's not that known, you know, unfortunately too, because to me, oh, by the way, to me, he's the best Dominican right now. He beat 2 top 10 130-pound fighters consecutively in dominant fashion. So not only is he beating these guys, he beat both of those guys dominantly. Like, clearly, nobody left either fight going, damn, that was a close fight that could have gone either way. He had fucking Colbert running the last 3 rounds, not one in the fight. He beat the crap out of Roger Gutierrez for the first 9 rounds. And I want to say it was the 9th round. He really busted him up, just did him dirty. Like, to the point where I thought they were going to stop the fight because I saw in the corner the trainers, Gutierrez trainers was talking to each other, grabbing the towel, looking. They were about to stop it, and he ended up surviving the round and ended up coming on strong late. But point is, Hector Luis Garcia did a good performance this past Saturday. He was looking good, man. Stevenson was targeting Gutierrez a few months back, and Garcia has the momentum, fighter of the year potential, in my opinion. So it's time to make it. I mean, I I, I want to say he's definitely a candidate for fighter of the year. Yo, you beat 2 top 10 fighters in your division and dominate them. Like, to me, yo, and to me, he's the second best 130 pounder right now. Like, as far as that's how I would rank. I would rank Shakur number one and Hector Luis Garcia number two. I got him over Oscar Valdez and Rakhimov and all like I got him over everybody except Shakur. And you know, I would love for them to settle it. I would love for them to settle it in the ring. Let's see who's the best. Let's see who's the best. Settle it in the ring. That would be really, really nice. But again, the fact that you know both fighters fight on different platforms, it makes it difficult. About to catch his Garcia Gutierrez replay. Garcia is just a machine. Yo, bro. Yo, like I'm telling you, he was looking good, looking real good. And there, Garcia definitely be again. He's the best Dominican. He's like as far as potential. Listen, y'all know how I feel about Elvis Rodriguez. I'm very high on his potential, but I can't justifiably say he's the best Dominican when his resume that like you put it next to Garcia is not even close. And again, they are different levels. You know, some people still look at Elvis as a prospect, although when I spoke to him, he told me he feels he's a contender and that he would fight for a world title tomorrow if presented with the opportunity. But you know, does just say he's still somewhat of a prospect. Garcia's fighting contenders, or 2 top 5 in his division to me. So Garcia definitely number 2. So okay, so according to Vivi, he felt Chris Colbert and Roger Gutierrez at the time he fought them were 2 top 5 130 pounders. And again, it's not that he beat them both. It's that he dominated, straight, clearly dominated those fights. That's why, you know, I say he's number 2. Not, you know, had he just squeaked it out and fight could have gone either way. And some people had it for Gutierrez and some people had it for Colbert. No. He dropped Colbert, beat the fuck out of him on 3 weeks notice. Like, you imagine he had a full training camp and then you add on top of that his next fight is against the world champion and dominates him. Like, for real, man, for real. I was sad that Gutierrez lost, but Garcia put in that work and a star was born. He did great. Yeah, Vivi, don't think I forgot that you was picking Gutierrez, man. Don't think I forgot. I got the memory of an elephant, but it's all good though. Now you seeing what I was saying. I was telling people when I was on these Twitter spaces, I'm like, yo, my man Garcia is nice. I'll be honest, I did not think he was gonna dominate to the point where like it was so clear. I thought it would have been a closer fight. But man, he even proved me wrong. That dude is, again, he's the number 1 pound for pound Dominican. In terms of the Dominicans, right now, number 1 pound for pound is Hector Luis Garcia. I just wish he was a bit younger. He's 30 years old. So, but hey, man, he's in the right position. He's with PBC. And PBC, they take care of their fighters. So hopefully Al Heyman saw that and he becomes one of Al Heyman's favorites and puts him in position and gives him good paydays, man. For real. I want to see Garcia versus Navarrete. That fight would be fireworks. Absolutely. Again, it's that, you know, PBC ESPN deal, but man, I would love to see that fight. And I would pick Garcia, man. He's the bigger fighter, and I think he's more defensively responsible than Navarrete. Although Navarrete has a buzz, he has a lot of energy. He doesn't get tired and he comes to fight. And that'll be a great fight. It'll be a 50-50 fight. I'm not saying that Garcia would dominate, but I would pick Garcia to win, to be honest with you. Garcia earned his stripes. Mad TBV didn't give hunch on Garcia as last-minute replacement versus Colbert. Usually give benefit of the doubt for late replacements. Just never know who shows up in their moment. Man, listen, I'll be honest with you. I'm the voice of Dominican boxing, and I wasn't up on Hector Luis Garcia before the Colbert fight like that. Once the fight got announced, I watched his fight with Isaac Avalar, and he didn't show me anything impressive, and he got dropped. You know, not that he should show me anything impressive. He ain't show me he was as good as he is. Like, He did not look like how he looked against Roger Gutierrez against Isaac Avila. But I guess, you get up for certain moments. He probably had a really hard training camp for his first championship fight and put in the work. But you're right. I wish I would have had some money on him. Yo, some Bob Santos told me that some of the casinos had him 50-1. 50-1? Yo, you put $100, you making bank, just 100. And if you would have bet even more, but that's crazy. Hector Garcia earned my respect. Can't hate him after 2 exciting performances where he made 2 great fighters look mid. Yeah, 2 dominant performances. Dominant. This is off topic. This is off Dominican topic, but what do you think of Fury and Usyk talks? I mean, I hate Tyson Fury, man. I'm like such a I hate's a strong word, but I'm really such a non-Tyson Fury fan, man. Like with the whole retiring, I'm coming back, and I'm retired, and who knows? And I need $400 million to fight Usyk. He said that in the interview. He needs $400 million to fight Usyk. Come on, bro. Like, I don't know what to make of it as far as with Fury, but as far as in the ring, it's an interesting fight because the one guy who Tyson Fury says gave him the most trouble was Steve Cunningham. Steve Cunningham actually dropped Tyson Fury and everything. And Steve Cunningham was a cruiserweight moving up to heavyweight. And he had trouble with that little guy moving around on him. Now, Usyk is also a little guy. And by the way, little guy, I'm being relative. He's 6'3", like 220. So it's relative to where he fights at. He's a little guy. This guy, Tyson Fury, 6'9", 275. This guy's 6'3", 220. Is a big significant difference. So I don't know if Usyk's able to handle that weight, and I don't know if Tyson Fury fighting little guys is just he's not comfortable. So it's an interesting fight no matter who you think wins. For real. For real. Carlos Adames and Mini Pac-Man Rosa, time to shine next. And hopefully Michelle Rivera gets that tank fight. Dominican boxing is thriving right now with great talents. Yo, Vivi, I like you. Vivi. Absolutely. And by the way, for you guys just joining me, I'm going to be interviewing Eric Mini Pac-Man Rosa this Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. So if you guys want to come watch me interview this great fighter, please do. He's 5-0. He already has a WBA regular belt. And he beat Vic Saludar for that belt, who my man Lord of the Flies says is a really, really good fighter. He's really up to date with those lower weights. So I'm gonna be interviewing him. And Carlos Adames, he has a fight for a WBC interim belt, which could be elevated to full if Jamal Charlo ends up moving up in weight and vacating. And it also could put him in position to become the mandatory for Charlo. So that, like, they're both in pretty excuse me. Carlos Adames is a pretty big fight against Juan Macias Montiel, who also is a common opponent with Jamal Charlo, who some people felt gave him trouble. Some people feel like that guy got put some work on Charlo. I honestly, I just think he did better than what people expected. I still feel like Charlo still did a good job in winning that fight. But Carlos Adames, he's in a big fight, and hopefully he gets the win, because Macias Montiel is known for having a high motor and good stamina. And if we're being honest, Carlos Adames, that's been the knock on him, that he has bad stamina, that he gets tired and all this stuff like that. And let's just hope that's not the case. But again, he's training with Bob Santos, who by trade is a strength and conditioning coach, and that he's transitioned into being a boxing coach. So, and if you guys remember my interview with Bob Santos, he was telling me how Carlos Adames is one of the most talented fighters he's ever seen as far as in the gym. And if that's the truth, then God bless him, man. God bless him. Does Rivera stand a chance against Tank? People are sleeping on him. I mean, yeah, he stands a chance. First of all, he got skills. Like, people trying to make it seem like he's not one of these like, yeah. Now, I'm not saying you, Puerto Rican Rum. Like people think like, yo, these are the Dominicans of old. They didn't used to have skills. They used to just come and get nah. And Michelle Rivera is one of those gym tyrants. Listen, there was a bunch of Dominicans at that fight, including the fight this Saturday, including Carlos Adames, who flew in from Las Vegas to watch the fight. Michelle Rivera, I asked about Michelle Rivera. They told me that he didn't want to leave his training camp. He don't even have a fight lined up. He didn't want to leave his training camp to go watch the fight live. He said he'll watch it on TV. That's how much work Michelle Rivera is putting in. So from a gym standpoint, from a work ethic standpoint, I know Michelle Rivera is getting ready. I know Michelle Rivera is putting in that work. So since he's doing that, that makes me confident. Also, Tank is one of the shorter lightweights in the division, and Michelle Rivera is one of the taller lightweights in the division with a fantastic jab. His jab is actually his best punch. So if he could keep Tank on the outside, score, and every now and then, land a right hand and avoid getting clipped by Tank, who we all know is a power puncher, he definitely has a chance. He definitely has a chance. He has a chance of at winning for sure. Sure. I don't want people thinking like, yo, my man's a bum or something. Fuck out of here, man. Michelle Rivera could fight. By the way, Ring Magazine, hold on, just in case y'all think I'm lying. Ring Magazine just ranked Michelle Rivera in the top 10 in the lightweight division. He's number 10. I'm about to screen share for that. No, because yo, when I get on these spaces and people try to shit on Michelle Rivera, that shit gets me tight because he just be an undefeated Joseph Adorno in dominant fashion. One about like it was a 10-round fight, if I don't want to say. One about 7 or 8 rounds, and it's like, oh yeah, but he hasn't fought nobody just because he got dropped against John Fernandez, who had a high knockout ratio, and then he ended up knocking him out anyways. So yeah, look, this is the lightweight rankings on Ring Magazine. The champion is Devin Haney. Number 1, they got Kambosos. 2, Lomachenko. 3, Javante. 4, Garcia, and 5, Cruz. But look who's number 10. My Dominican brother, Michelle Rivera. This is his first week. Look, weeks on list. This is his first week on the list. But he's on it. So put some respect on my man Michelle Rivera's name, man. He's a good fighter. He definitely has a chance. Any Dominicans can challenge Puerto Rican Subriel Matias at 140. Favorite fighter at 140 is Matias. Just brings different, no-nonsense attitude to the table. Rivera might fold under Matias. Listen, Matias need to worry about Elvis Rodriguez not putting him to sleep. Elvis Rodriguez will knock Subriel Matias out, and I put money on that, man. Because I know Elvis, if and when that fight happens, I know Elvis Rodriguez gonna be the underdog. I'm putting money, and I'm putting a lot. No, I'm not putting a lot, but I'm putting money on that legally, betting responsibly. I don't want to influence nobody. Yeah. Rivera is a phenomenal boxer and athlete, a very strong talent, and has fought multiple tough guys on his way to the top. He's very skilled. If he beat Tank, I wouldn't be shocked. You see, and Vivi's a knowledgeable boxing fan. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. That's a good point, Luis. Rivera's too good, but don't sell. That's right. I guess that's why nobody wants to fight him. That's a good point. And honestly, a lot of these Dominicans, like, if we're being honest, none of them are really a draw just yet. But just yet, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta also look who they fought. Who have they fought that's popular enough for them to get a rub like, oh shit, he beat Devin Haney, he beat Loma, he beat Ryan, he beat Tio, he hasn't fought none of those guys. So it's hard for him to become a draw if he hasn't been able to get those fights. So it's kind of like a catch-22. People don't want to fight him because he's not a draw, but he hasn't fought nobody. He's not a draw because he hasn't fought nobody, but not because he's ducking. He wants these fights. Y'all seen him when I had him on my channel. And every time I see him on social media, I'm speaking of Michelle Rivera, he wants to fight Tank. So you see what I'm saying? So he'll get his shot though. Because if I'm not mistaken, Michelle Rivera is only 24, man. So if things take a little longer, that's fine. He's still young enough to withstand that. I just hope he's in the ring sooner rather than later. For real. And honestly, I do think Rivera's gonna get the Tank fight. If you asking me, who do I think is gonna end up fighting Tank? It's either gonna be a rematch with Isaac Cruz, which I really don't want to see. Not even because like it's over Michelle. It's more so like we saw it already. Let somebody else get a crack, you know? It's either gonna be Isaac Cruz, a small chance of it being Ryan Garcia. I doubt it happens because you know Oscar's gonna want to make it a joint pay-per-view, and that fight's not big enough to make it a joint pay-per-view. And then and then the other option is Michelle Rivera, and I feel like is a better reason. It's better for boxing for him to fight Michelle Rivera for the first time than to fight Isaac Cruz for a second time. And by the way, if anybody wants to call in, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. Just click that link. It'll take you to a website. And from there, you can call in. We can have a conversation. And also, by the way, feel free to hit that like button, subscribe button if you haven't already. And feel free to send me a super chat, man. Buy me a cup of coffee, man. Buy me a cup of coffee. Buy Broadway a cup of coffee. $5. $10. Do me. I live in New York. Send me 10. All right. As long as Dominican boxers can stay disciplined and away from alcohol, women, they'll be unstoppable. Discipline has been our downfall in the past. What I like about it is they training in Vegas. In Vegas, Francisco, I don't know where you live at, but I'm assuming you're from New York because you Dominican. New York, these guys used to come to New York. All these Dominicans go to Dykeman, go to Washington Heights, and go all over the Bronx and party and chill. And there's a lot of distractions here to do. In Vegas, although there's a lot of distractions there, it's not what they like to do. There's no Típico band out there. There's no, Max Banda's going to be over here. Quero Banda's performing. Like none of that. They out there for a job, and they're getting high quality sparring. Hector Luis Garcia, when I was out in Vegas, told me, actually, matter of fact, I'm acting like I ain't put the video out. I'll put the video out. He said he sparred Rolly and Haney. You come to New York, there's not that type of sparring, bro. We don't got that type of level of fighters out here. And I'm just being honest. So I like that they training in Vegas. Victor Santillán, who I spoke to personally, he told me he's coming on the show. We just working out as to when. Is training out in Vegas with Bob Santos. Eric Pac-Man Rosa, Carlos Adames, Alberto Puello, Hector Luis Garcia. That's 5 Dominicans training out there. So I like that. And they're all together. They're all being housed together, trained under one trainer in a city where there's bunch of fucking sparring. So I'm loving it. Tank versus Rivera at Barclays. MSG would be better, but PBC doesn't do business in Madison Square Garden. Absolutely. PBC doesn't do business in Madison Square Garden. But listen, there's enough Dominicans in Brooklyn. I mean, I would rather it be in Madison Square Garden because it's easier for us Dominicans who live in Washington Heights and Dykeman and the Bronx. That it's easier for them to get to, and that's where most Dominicans live. But there's enough Dominicans in Brooklyn that it will make the trip. But I would love that. Barclays Center, Tank versus Michelle Rivera. Woo! I would be there with my press pass, ready to cover the event and interview everybody, man. And hopefully my man gets that opportunity, man. Let me see. Hold on. Discipline is the measurement that separates between all-time greats. Gotta have discipline in boxing and stay dialed in. Absolutely. Hold on. Let me answer this question. ¿Qué pasa con Jackson? It's Phoenix, Marini. Vivi, I see you, dog. So give me 1 sec. I just want to answer a couple questions. ¿Qué pasa con Jackson Phoenix Mariñez? When is he fighting? 135 is top rank, or did he get dropped after that last loss? I mean, he just fought Frank Martin. Was it last month on the Mark Magsayo Ray Vargas undercard? Like I actually saw him at the fight. I mean, I think he's just taking a break. He's just coming off a knockout loss, Carlos Adames fights on October 8th or 6th or something like that on the undercard of the Fondora Ocampo fight. VV, my brother, what's going on, man?
Good evening. Good evening. I've been enjoying the talks. Listen, Dominican boxing is it's at its highest. The interest is there. It's peaking. There's so many great talents. So it's always fun to hear about them. And I'm glad that they're doing well and in the right headspace and everything to fulfill their potential.
For real, man. And listen, we got more world champions than Cuba and Puerto Rico combined. Can you believe that?
It's crazy, especially Cuba. I mean, I couldn't name a Cuban world champion off the top of my head. So that's really like astonishing to think about where Dominican boxing came to now.
No, and again, listen, Carlos Adames fighting for that WBC interim belt, which could become the real belt if Charlo decides to vacate if he moving up, and if he doesn't, that makes him the mandatory. So he's gonna get a title shot, whether he beats Charlo or not. Point is, he'll get a shot, and who knows, anything could happen in that fight. Uh, Mini Pac-Man Rose is a WBA regular. The WBA is trying to consolidate. Who knows? Maybe he gets a shot at the super champion. And then Michelle Rivera is ranked number 2 in the WBA in the lightweight division. Um, things are looking good. We're gonna be in position, and we're gonna get opportunities as Dominicans. Whether we win or take advantage of those opportunities, that's a different story. But as of right now, we got 2 world champions, and you know we have other fighters who are in position to fight for a world title as well.
Yeah, and I mean, like it usually like there was the stereotype of Dominicans are undisciplined and they're chinny and stuff like that. You see Alberto Puello, you and Hector Luis Garcia. I saw them fight two guys and Batir Akhmedov and Roger Gutierrez who can punch and they landed punches. They put it on them and they were able to stand there, sustain the punches and fight with them. So it's kind of like those silly narratives of the past are no longer a thing as well.
Yeah, man. And honestly, the things of the past, some of it, you got to add context to it. I'm actually going to interview a Dominican. I guess some people will call him a journeyman, but I wouldn't even do that to him. I wouldn't even call him that. Uh, I'm gonna have him in studio. It's gonna be in Spanish though. I'm not gonna do the translate. I may add the subtitles. We'll see how much work I want to put in. But point is, he told me like, yo, coming up, yo, they were throwing him in with wolves. They were throwing him in with wolves, and he had to fight his way all the way up. Fighting in the underdog and other people's hometowns a bunch of times. Had to get knockouts to make sure he wasn't, getting robbed. And that's what happened a lot before. A lot of times it would be that. And sometimes, if we're being honest, we got guys missing weight like Javier Fortuna and Joan Guzman, and guys who would gas out, guys who like sometimes those stereotypes did fit. But I feel like this generation of Dominican boxers coming up are changing that stereotype, and it's making me excited. And as the voice of Dominican boxing, I could not have found my lane any better.
What
Like at a
led you
better
into like
time. What was that?
What led you into like being the voice of Dominican boxing? 'Cause I know you had like a YouTube channel, but it seems like it kind of became your shtick, and I'm interested in like what got you there.
By the way, that's a good question. So, uh, well, first, I have my father's in the boxing business. Well, was in, I guess whatever. He kind of isn't. My father's one of those people like I'll never do boxing again. Then he goes back into boxing. So we'll see. But so I had a lot of my connections were through Dominican. He had connections through Dominican boxers. So when I was interviewing Michelle Rivera, you don't gotta be the Dominican to be interested in fighting. Hearing that. So I just kind of interviewed a bunch of Dominicans, and Ezra was like, "Yo, you're the voice of Dominican boxing," or something like that. And I was like, you know what? I like that. I'm gonna take that name. And then he made a meme of me. It's my face with the Dominican flag, and it says the voice of Dominican boxing. And I laughed at it, and I was kind of like, all right, whatever. And then again, I just kept interviewing Dominicans, and then I was like, I'm the voice of Dominican boxing. I already got the moniker. Let me fill this void that's happening, because a lot of times they say, oh, Dominicans are not a draw, Dominicans are not popular, nobody knows who's Dominican. But if you got one guy interviewing all of them, you know where to go to. If you're a boxing fan and you happen to be Dominican and you want to know about us, you know where to go. There's one place to listen. There's nobody in YouTube that has interviewed more Dominican boxers than me. I interviewed the Dominican Olympic coach. Who the fuck is doing that? You get what I'm saying? So I feel like I found my lane, I found my niche. And again, that doesn't mean I won't interview a Mexican fighter, a Colombian fighter, an Argentinian fighter. That does not mean that I'll interview anybody. I've interviewed Tevin Farmer. I've interviewed Michael Fox. I interviewed the Olympic gold medalist Herbert Conceição, who's from Brazil. So I have interviewed people from different countries. It just kind of felt like it. I just kind of got led into this way, and look, it's worked out for me. I got over 1,000 subscribers. I was on the Boxing Voice, which to me was a big accomplishment. I got my first credential, because I'm the voice of Dominican boxing, and 2 Dominican fighters were fighting on the card. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, like it's really perfect because not only like yourself, but the fighters as well are doing so much better. The popularity is there, the interest is there, and oh, I remember I was thinking about something and I completely forgot. But it's really impressive like what you're doing for Dominican boxing, and it's like oh yeah, it's like the WBA article where they had like the photo of Hector Luis Garcia and Alberto Puello, and you were there, and like the videos of like them in the gym and you hyping them up, stuff like that. It's like it's not normal. Like now, like Dominican boxing, they kind of have to go to you. They kind of have to look at your channel, know who you are. So it's great for everyone involved.
Yo, PBC wrote an article. Jose Corpus, he wrote an article for PBC, and he quoted one of my videos, and he even linked it. I don't know if you read it. I tweeted about it. But my point is, I'm making ripples on PBC website. I'm making ripples on the WBA website. I'm making ripples of people looking at my channel and being familiar with a fighter they may have not been familiar with. Like Eric Mini Pac-Man Rosa. You may be a Dominican boxing fan, but you may not know who he is. And that's fair because he's not getting really TV talent like that. We're being honest, right? But you come to my channel this Saturday, now you're going to be familiar with him. Now you may follow him on Instagram. Now you may become a fan. Now you actually may watch his next fight, which you didn't. So it's kind of like a give for a give. They're giving me their time for the interview, but I'm giving them exposure. And again, I look at myself more as a historian. Like if you want to tell the story of Dominican boxing in 20 years, there's no way you're not going to come to my channel. It's just no way. You have to come to my channel to get some of the information I've collected on my YouTube channel. And that's I feel like I found my niche. And again, I'm gonna interview everybody. Again, if I get an opportunity to interview Virgil Ortiz or Boots Ennis or Jamal Charlo or Shakur Stevenson, I'm gonna interview him, of course. But again, I'm still gonna focus on my lane as well.
Yeah, I get that, and I think it's great, and especially with like the other things that you're doing. It's not like it's just Dominican content. You have so much content on your channel that everyone's welcome, and everyone will find their kind of thing.
No, and not only that, you would think everybody who watching this is Dominican. Nah, you're not Dominican. I got Karma Serene. Shout out my girl Karma. She's watching. She's not Dominican. Carlos Montes is Mexican. He's not Dominican. Soneto Media, he's Mexican. He's not Dominican. Like I got a bunch of non-Dominicans. So it's like if the content is good, people gonna come and watch. So I'm not even focused on like some people are like, oh, you're narrowing down your content. Nah, I know I'm entertaining. I know I'm good looking. I know my shit. So I'm coming on here and I'm doing my thing and I'm having fun with it. That's the best part about it. I'm actually genuinely having fun with it. And I'm providing content that people need. Like again, today I put out a video of Hector Luis Garcia asking for a title shot, a unification shot with Shakur Stevenson. That video right there, you're not going to find nowhere else on YouTube. But I have it. Yesterday, I put out a video with Elvis Rodriguez talking about when he's going to fight next, why he hasn't had a fight, and also what he thinks of the state of Dominican boxing and how the rise and when does he think he's going to become a world champ. Like content, nobody else is interviewing Elvis Rodriguez. You get what I'm saying? So, and one of the things I noticed is I learned in life is you got to do things that other people ain't doing, man. Like you can't just fall in line. And if I was to just come here and talk about everything like how every other boxing show does, I wouldn't be Broadway Joel. I'll be one of them. Now I'm unique. Who? Joel? Yeah. Oh, that's the guy who does the Dominican stuff. You get what I'm saying? This phone right here, I have every Dominican boxer's name, number. Every single one of them, I have their number. So you, Vivi, right now, ask me something. Let's say I don't know. I could just fucking text them, and I could find out in 2 minutes. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that really goes for anybody, and that's kind of like the whole historian thing, and that as well. It's like if you want to learn about Dominican boxing, understand their history and their boxing program, then you kind of have to go through you.
Yep, they have to. Look, not only that I interviewed the Olympic coach, I interviewed Bob Santos, who trains 5 Dominicans, and then I interviewed pretty much every Dominican with the exception of Pac-Man Rosa, who I in the same. See, Matt, if I see you, I'll hop you on in a sec. And Pac-Man Rosa and Jason Rosario. Those are the only 2 I'm missing, and one of them I'm about to get on Saturday. So you get what I'm saying? Like I'm out here working, bro. I'm not out here just sitting on my hands.
We still need the Taino interview. He was the man at bantamweight back in the day. We need it.
You're the second person to mention it to me. The thing is with Payano is like,
in no way.
I'm not that.
That's the thing. That's the thing is in no way.
Yeah.
That is the thing.
In a way, destroyed him. But to be honest, getting knocked out by Inoue is not necessarily
my nigga, bro. Did y'all see how Payano dropped after that right hand? I looked at that nigga.
Bro. We're not talking about that. Yo, we talk about the Dominican wins. We're not talking about the losses. What's up with you, bro?
Yeah, talk about him beating Ross.
I'm Haitian, bro. I'm Haitian. Y'all hate us for no
so what that means?
I love it.
You don't like Dominicans?
I love it. Yo, some of my favorite people of all time are Dominican, but do y'all love Haitians?
I've never said anything bad about Haitians. Why are you making this a thing, bro? What's going on?
I'm just fucking around. I'm fucking around. But I'm just talking about
that. What's up with you, bro? You usually come in showing love.
I show love. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm fucking with you. I'm good. But like I was just saying, Payano's was a good fighter, man. But like that in a way knockout. But you're right. In a way does that to everybody.
Yeah,
everybody.
He did it to Rodriguez. He just did it to Donaire. He did it to pretty much everybody. Like, so I'm not gonna.
But yo, I wanna say I'm proud of you, Joseph. Joel, I called you Joseph. What the fuck I call you Joseph for? I'm bugging. Joel, I'm happy. I'm happy for you, bro. Because real talk, you found a niche. Because think about it like this: Dominican boxing. There's some very good Dominican fighters going all the way back to the 80s, going all the way back in time, and they don't really get highlighted because it's usually Cubans, Mexicans, and other.
We didn't have the support and we didn't have the infrastructure. Now with PBC supporting us and the infrastructure that we got in the Dominican Republic, where the Olympic coaches now came from the Cuban School of Boxing. A lot of things are going to start changing, and one thing
we're going to start seeing a lot of Dominicans, getting back to where they need to get back to, because even irrespective of the infrastructure, always had good fighters, bro. I was always weird,
it was just the conditioning. Honestly, a lot of the times it would just be the conditioning, man. That Dominican
conditioning, and also baseball centric there. But I'm saying some of y'all have, like, for example, Banana, bro. Banana wasn't supposed to be J-Rock. Look how he beat J-Rock, bro. So I'm telling you, like, I always had in Philly too, mind you. Like, he was the underdog there. So I look at it from this perspective, bro. Like, me being from Haiti, like, all our Haitian boxers had to come to America or Canada to get championships. And mind you, we only have like two champions. Oh no, 3 actually.
You got Adonis, Pascal,
Bermain,
and Bermain Stavern.
And Richardson Hitchens in the future.
And Richardson Hitchens, he's not a champion yet, but he's a prospect that people are high on. Well, some people are high on. And then
I'm just saying, like,
Andre Berto.
Yeah. No, I didn't forget about him, but like that's 4. But I'm telling you, Dominicans have been having champions for a while, bro. And you guys are more like, advanced than Haiti. So I was always surprised, like, how do y'all not have more champions?
We love baseball, but with this recent amount of, like, my thing is with the wave of Dominican boxing we got now, if let's just say we get 5-6 more champions within 2 years. That right there is only going to create more interest in the country. People are going to look and go, damn, that's what we doing? Because that's what happened with baseball. A lot of times is, damn, you mean Dominicans are good at baseball? You know what? Fuck it. Let me try baseball. And that's what happens. And then they end up becoming MLB player.
Like you have Manny Ramirez, Pedro Martinez.
We'll be here all day if we talk about Dominican baseball. But
Yeah, man.
one thing I want is I want a Dominican heavyweight, man. I want one like, you know,
Yeah, Nagy
knocking
Aguilera.
dudes
That's a
out.
great heavyweight, bro. Nagy, baby.
Nagy Aguilera.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, he was a good fighter, bro. I just don't know what happened with him, bro. He was a good fighter,
He
man.
got that one knockout win over Oleg Moskaev, which
Yo, Moscow, bro, knocked out Hasim Rockman twice coming from behind, bro.
and
Moscow
Nagy
could fight,
Aguilera
man.
knocked him out. Nagy Aguilera knocked him out. Hold on, somebody asking me a question. What's going on with Lennon Castillo? Is he still active? His last fight, he got knocked out cold in like vicious fashion by
my nigga, like yo, bro.
Callum Smith.
I always you know Julius, Julius from Ring IQ.
Yeah,
both Dominican.
I know.
So I
Dominicans,
told,
we run YouTube. The YouTube boxing community is run by Dominicans. But go ahead.
Yeah, but like I was saying, but I ain't gonna hold you. Y'all always keep it objective, so that's why I like coming on your panels. Y'all not dickheads. But like back to what I was saying, I made this joke with Julius. You're gonna have to avenge what Leonard Castillo, man. Y'all gonna have to avenge Leonard Castillo. Y'all gonna have to run up on Callum Smith in Liverpool and beat this shit out of him because there was no way that should have happened, bro. He hit him, dog. He twitched. I said, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, that was a scary knockout. He's gonna be fighting for a minute. Yeah,
bro.
When was that fight?
That was
a year ago.
That was a year.
That was on the Anthony Joshua Alexander Usyk undercard, the first one.
Oh, damn!
That was in London.
He hasn't fought since then. Oh, okay.
Yeah, bro. But yo, knockouts like that, bro, they change you as a person, bro. Straight up.
Yeah,
I'm not even trying to shit on dude. I'm not even trying to shit on dude, bro. But yo, I've been looking at your content with Bob Santos and him talking about Elvis Rodriguez. Elvis, man, yo, Kenneth Sims is a good fighter, bro. Just because the record don't look as good, he's a good fighter. Like
I know he's a good fighter, bro. I know you. Vivi, how high are you on Elvis?
I'm very high. That Kenneth Sims fight. Things happen outside of the ring, but Elvis Rodriguez, he still showed to me previously and since that fight that he has superstar potential. He's a phenomenal fighter. I don't take much from that. I think that was a lesson. That's it.
Exactly.
I was talking about both fighters, man. Kenneth Sims is a good fighter, bro. Like he's one of them dudes.
He just won a regional title. He just won a WBA like Intercontinental. So I'm interested to see in September when the new rankings come out where he comes out ranked. Because but
I say this for Elvis, bro. He touched you with that left hand or right hook, but specifically that left hand, bro. It's always going to be problems. I'm telling you, anyone who comes from Top Rank to PBC, they always going to eat food because. Yo, when he was on Top Rank, he was eating food too. But like, I'm just saying, Bob Arum sometimes can be.
Bro, he was looking so impressive on ESPN, man. I just wish, things would have went differently. But honestly, that Kenneth Sims loss may be a blessing in disguise, man. He got away from Top Rank. I don't like Top Rank as a promotional company. Now he's with PBC, the biggest promoter, and the promoter that has all the other Dominicans. So if and when they do that all Dominican card here in New York City, he could be on it. He doesn't have to look.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. What you just said right now, that's a good idea, man. An all Dominican card. Everybody, all the baddies gonna come out and everything that's beautiful to hear, man. Like,
hell yeah.
But I'm just saying though, but like I can't say Top Rank is total shit because they do have to
total shit. I just don't like how they treat Dominicans, man.
But bro, I ain't gonna hold you. I don't like how they treat a lot of these fighters, black, white,
the thing is, I'm connected to the streets, the boxing streets, man. And what people tell me when they having conversations with Top Rank employees is that they don't like Dominicans. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, they don't like black. Yo, I'm telling you this, man. If they could have controlled Floyd Mayweather's career and made him what they wanted to be, Floyd would have had mad losses. Floyd wouldn't be the person that he is today. Bob Arum is bad news for a whole bunch of people. But I'm just saying, in terms of the fights he put you in, bro, the system Bob Arum has for the elite level fighters that, overcome his BS.
They do the best matchmaking, is what you're saying.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do, bro.
But they don't treat you they don't pay the best and they don't treat the fighters the best. Like when I had on Elvis Manager, by the way, that's another person I had on who other YouTubers ain't giving an interview to. Shout out to Benny. But anyways, I had him on. He told me that his opponents were getting paid double and triple what Elvis Rodriguez was. His opponents.
What?
And then
the A side is getting less. Is getting 2 to 3, three less than the fucking.
bro, I'm telling you.
What?
And he told me, yo, once he went to PBC, the bag been different. So not only is my man now getting the bag, he's also on the big. To me, PBC, although they're not promoted, but let's just say they're a promoter. They're the biggest promoter in all of boxing. They bigger than Top Rank, probably bigger than Top Rank and Matchroom combined, to be honest, if we're being honest with you. But
yeah, because Matchroom was more international, bro. So at the end of the day,
but
gonna...
I honestly like sure. How much is fucking Josh Warrington pulling in as far as financials?
But if you go in Leeds, where he lives, he
think he's pulling in a lot
of
of money? You think he's pulling in more than what Al Heyman is making out here?
You talk about Josh Warrington.
Warrington was pulling enough to have Shakur try to go to the UK.
Yeah, but I can't just say but I'll say this though. It's surprising to hear that, he's getting the bag on PBC outside of all his other because you got to look at it. The Charlo brothers complaining about their bag. You saw how Chantel Charlo just kicked Jermell Charlo's back in, but it's good to hear, bro, because at the end of the day, Elvis Rodriguez, man, he got potential, man.
PBC known for if anything, people say that PBC overpays. People be saying that. They treat their fighters good. And again, I've heard it from the horse's mouth, not what I've read on fucking boxing scene. I'm talking about
not some speculation. Nothing
telling me that PBC pays better than Top Rank. And I'd rather my guys be with the promoter who's paying them right, treating them right, and putting them in position. And no, you can't be put in a better position than both my fighters, Hector Luis Garcia and Alberto Poya, two relatively unknown fighters, getting title shots and them taking full advantage.
That's good.
That's good to hear. Right. And Michelle Rivera is in position to probably get a fight with Tank Davis.
He's underrated, and I think he could get Tank Davis all he can handle, bro. Like, Michelle Rivera, good fighter too, but I'm also going to say this, though. As good as it is for certain fighters, I'm just saying it's just with everybody, whether it be Top Rank, whether it be Matchroom. Because you got to remember, Lawrence Okolie left Matchroom and 258 management because he wasn't happy with Matchroom. I think it's by case. But when your former heavyweight champion say, "Yo, fights weren't made," and yada yada yada, I lost out on more money to fight Tyson Fury and then fight Anthony Joshua. I look at that kind of crazy. It's just like I'm not like I don't really champion too many people.
If you got 200 fighters, 1 or 2 are bound to be upset. But I want to say,
you can't make everybody happy.
Yeah, do you see more people complaining about Bob Arum or do you see more people complaining about Al Heyman?
Historically, they complain more about Bob Arum, bro. Let's talk about Ray. Let's talk about
historically, currently too.
I've not really heard anybody complain about Al Heyman.
But the thing is,
hold on, Matt. What was that, VV?
I haven't heard that many people complain about Al Heyman.
Yeah, it's like I haven't heard that. Al Heyman treats his fighters good, man. I don't know where you come from.
I'm saying this though. The reason why I brought up historically, everyone knows Bob Arum be on some funny shit sometimes. So I'm just saying historically, even now to now, people have, had their gripes with Al Heyman, with Bob Arum. Like Bob Arum, you gotta remember, Bob Arum took the middleweight championship out of America for 9 years. So, bro, you know how many fighters, irrespective of color, got denied title shots for not being with Bob Arum, bro? He's a fuckboy.
I mean, I won't take it that far, but I do know that they don't like Dominicans, man. And the proof is in the pudding. Look, man, that like Rodriguez takes one loss, they release him. Carlos Adames takes one loss, they release him. And then right now we talk about how we're in the golden era of Dominican boxing, and they don't got one Dominican on their side. So it's like, it gets to the point where it's like, all right, what the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad Victor Santillán went over there in the Puerto Rican Day Parade, fought one of the Puerto Ricans and smacked the shit out of him and beat him. So I'm shout out to Victor Santillan for that. And also, like when Adam Blue Nose Lopez fought William Encarnacion, William Encarnacion dropped this dude twice in an 8-round fight and still didn't get the decision. Robbed his ass. So a lot of funny shit be happening on that side, man.
Yo, just remember, this is boxing. A lot of funny shit happens on all sides, but understand this: Bob
Yeah, but
Arum,
that don't
you
mean you
gotta
can't call
understand,
it out. That don't mean you don't call it out. When funny shit
bro.
happens, you call it out.
I agree with you. I agree with you. You know that. I'm happy you call shit out because a lot of corny shit be happening. We do need, your channels. Man. Like, don't think I'm just on some like, oh, don't call this shit out. No, trust me. I'm a vociferous, advocate for, when shit gets fucked up, call it out. But I'm just saying, Bob Arum has a history of, showing favoritism to certain people. But we have to understand this, irrespective if you're Dominican, Haitian, Black, African, white, whatever. If you are a fighter that feels that you are great, you got to go for the promoter that is for you, and you got to go to the promoter that has the people
And
on
the
the side.
promoter
Because
for the Dominicans is PBC.
there
Look,
we go.
but hold on. I just saw this article on Boxing Scene. Alberto Puello wants Teofimo Lopez showdown next. I doubt it happens due to the PBC. Well, let me not say that. PBC, ESPN, they might give Puello that shot at Teofimo because he has a title, and maybe Teofimo thinks he could beat him. Like, I haven't read the article. Let's read what was his quote exactly. Let's see. Let me see. It says, all right, I would love to fight Josh Taylor in unified titles, but I understand he is fighting Catterall again. Since he is busy, Teofimo should fight me. I have a belt, and he wants to be a 2-division champion. So I am the only other person he can fight to make that happen. He has been barking about becoming undisputed at 140, so he shouldn't have no problem fighting me next. I am willing to fight him in any place and any time. And then a
I
follow-up.
gotta ask you: Is
Hold
Puello?
on. A follow-up quote was, I don't want to be out of the ring for long. I will take a short break and then start training again. I like to always be in shape. You never know when an opportunity will present itself, and you have to be ready at all times. I'm loving that energy. And honestly, considering he has a belt, I don't see that being so unrealistic as I do Hector Luis Garcia versus Shakur Stevenson.
Hector Luis Garcia, is he's 30 or 35? He's 30, actually.
No, he's 30. Damn, 35. Don't make my guy older than he is, man.
No, I'm talking about 30 in terms of weight, 30 or 35.
Oh, he's 30. He's 30 years old and he fights at 130.
The synchronicity of it all, bro. But hey, that's a good fight. But I didn't know Puello was, I didn't know he became super champion like that. Who did he beat to become?
Hold on. Josh Taylor vacated the WBA, and Puello fought for the vacant against Akhmadov.
Puello beat Akhmadov?
Bro.
Nah, bro, because I've been in school, bro. So at the end of the day, I've been hearing about
that. You come on the Voice of Dominican channel. Make sure you watch all the Dominican fights, bro. And I don't give a fuck if what fights you missing. Don't watch all the Dominicans. Buy the tickets when the Dominicans are fighting. Buy a Dominican flag. I don't care you Haitian. Buy a Dominican flag. And
no, you got it. But hey, bro, so that's good to hear. But like, hey, you gotta remember, they sent Felix Diaz, Terence Crawford, so PBC can make fights with top rank. So at the end of the day, this fight should be able to be made.
Yeah,
bro.
but PBC. Yeah, I listen. That's a fight. It's realistic. It's a fight I like. I would love it. Teofimo versus Alberto Puello. He's calling them out. I don't see that fight being unrealistic. I do see Shakur Stevenson versus Hector Luis Garcia as unrealistic, though, which is the fight he wants.
I don't think that's unrealistic. I don't think it's unrealistic at all. I think they'd be willing to send Hector Luis Garcia over, especially because of how much of a beast that he is. Like they know they have no pull when it comes to getting like Joe Cordina, Shakur himself, anything like that. And they really only have like, I mean, I don't even know who they would have on that side to really offer him. So
Cordina's a good fight, bro.
Hold
But
on.
I don't think Cordina.
I think a rematch with Colbert isn't out of the realm of possibility. Who's
Colbert's
Rakhimov?
fighting Frank Martin.
That fight signed?
I heard it is.
Nah. I don't think it's signed. I would have heard that. I would have heard that.
You would have
I mean,
heard
even
it.
if he
Yeah,
is, Colbert don't deserve
I'm
a
from
rematch.
Brooklyn, bro. I would have heard that. But at 130, I'm looking at the rankings now. So they got Rakhimov, Oshaki Foster,
He's
Kenichi
always been
Ogawa.
he's been a slept on guy, Oshaki Foster. People better watch out for him, boy. He's been calling out Tank for a long time. Sure, did he have an early loss, but that dude's
Also,
always he's been consistent.
Lamont Roach. I mean, he got options. I mean, no name really pops out the screen with the exception, like Oscar Valdez is there, but again, he's with ESPN, so that fight won't happen.
And he don't got a belt, bro. So
I think the Shakur fight's really realistic. So I know Shakur was undisputed. He said way back in like June. I remember him and Roger Gutierrez were going back and forth, and they said they're going to do that fight if Gutierrez gets past Garcia. And now that Garcia gets that much better beating Colbert, who Shakur also wanted to fight, and now Gutierrez is looking good doing it, and he's a Dominican. So you could do that in like New York or something, New Jersey, wherever.
Woo!
Yo,
excited, baby.
Hey, July, I gotta ask you a real question.
What's up?
Do you think Hector Garcia, real talk, has a chance against Shakur? And objectively speaking, Garcia is a good fighter, but I don't think he beat Shakur. I think Shakur, comprehensive.
Listen, I've doubted him too many times. Well, I ain't doubt him for the Gutierrez fight, but I doubted him against Colbert. I'm not gonna do it again. My man got a shot. He got over 300 amateur fights. He dominated 2 top 10 130 pounders. And if you and in Vivi's ranking, those 230 pounders were actually top 5. So he dominated 2 top 5 130-pound fighters. Oh nah, fuck that. I'm not gonna doubt him no more. And to me, out of all the Dominicans, he's the best one. So since he's the best one, I'm not saying I'm picking him. I'm not saying I'm not, but I know he has a shot. That dude can fight. He can fight.
I know he can fight,
he's not
man.
But he's not one of these Dominicans that you got to worry about. And no, he's not. He can fight. He can fight, man. He goes to the body. He can fight, man. Hold on. No, go ahead, Vivi. Vivi, you had something to say?
Oh, sorry. I was saying, like, all due respect to the guys that Shakur fought last, like Conceição, Valdez, Herring, Hector Luis Garcia has a much better chance than all three of them. I don't care. He is so skilled. He is so dynamic. He's so well-rounded. He brings a whole different skill set that Shakur hasn't fought as a professional. You can't write him off in that fight. As high as I am on Shakur, and I do think Shakur's going to win, that's a great fight.
Look,
I gotta ask you this:
that's his favorite fighter, Shakur Stevenson. So that coming from him just lets you know how much he respects Hector Luis Garcia. Let me read this comment real quick, Matt, and then I'll get back to you. That Santillán win hurt me because I was really high on Carlos Caraballo. He was one of my favorite Puerto Rican prospects. Shout out to Santillán, though. Yeah, Santillán looked good on that undercard, and that referee was not counting those rabbit punches, man. Yo. The mad rabbit punches by Caraballo, and the referee didn't take not 1 point away. But Santillán still got the win, so that's all that matters. But
I don't like when people do. I don't like just to piggyback what you said about them rabbit punches. I don't like when people do them rabbit punches because look what happened to Pritchard Colon, man. I don't understand Boricua, man, but that dude was going to be a player at 147, and now his quality of life has been irreparably ruined because of rabbit punches. So I don't like that shit. But now I was going to say to Vivi about Vivi. I fuck with Vivi because at least Vivi is objective enough to tell people what it is. So that's why we need boxing fans like that. And two, I was going to ask Vivi this. BC Ramirez beat Shakur in the amateurs to win gold. So is he on that same level or is Shakur or is BC better than Hector Luis Garcia?
I think Robeisy Ramirez is a phenomenal fighter. He's very skilled. He's even looked good recently as a professional. He came a long way and translated well as a pro after his first loss. But he's just too small. But I would say like skill wise, he's up there with anyone. No, I wouldn't say beat Shakur, but he's up there with anyone. He's a very unique talent. He's a 2-time gold medalist for a very good reason. But he's too small for them.
Nah,
I know,
I
but
agree
I'm
with
just
you.
talking about in terms of Garcia and Robert's skill set in juxtaposition to Shakur now. So you're saying Garcia has enough skill to, give it a go against Shakur. All right, cool. I'll take your word for it, both of you guys.
No, and Robesi Ramirez, I saw him live at the Garden on the Joe Smith Beterbiev undercard. Yo, that guy got fucking skills, man. And he got a one punch knockout of the bigger fighter in Nova, so he looked really impressive. I just think
And
at
Abraham Nova's a good fighter too, bro.
yeah, to me, honestly, he just looks really small. Like to me, he looks like a 122 pounder. So you telling me he's gonna move up to 130 to fight Shakur? Although he did beat Shakur in that gold medal match. So there's that. But as far as his relative of who has a better chance at beating Shakur, Robesi or Garcia, I would go Garcia. Just simple fact, he's the bigger fighter. You know what I'm saying? He's actually a 130 pounder.
I wasn't talking about Robesi fighting him. I was talking about the last guy Shakur lost to was Robesi Ramirez. I'm
Mhm.
saying that you guys say his skill, Hector Luis Garcia's skill set, he's a skillful guy, 300 plus amateur fights. Was he Olympian? That doesn't
Yeah, he
mean
was an
if he,
Olympian. Yeah.
yeah, but so at the end of the day, I was just, in terms of skill set, from the last person Shakur lost to, versus Hector Luis Garcia's skill set. I was saying is his skill set comparable to the guy that Shakur Stevenson lost to? That's all I asked.
Oh,
I
okay.
think so. That's 3 rounds compared to 12, so it's kind of hard to gauge. But I think Hector Luis Garcia is just as good as Robeisy Ramirez. So
Yeah.
and like Garcia's a great fighter. I think people will realize that, especially if he gets a Shakur fight. Like people are gonna write him off because he's a Dominican and he hasn't fought. And Shakur's like a superstar. It was like, oh, Shakur beats everyone 130, 140, all that shit. Garcia just came to the scene, so they're gonna write him off. But they're quickly gonna learn that's a very competitive fight.
Yeah, man.
Yo,
Everybody
when I
chat the
was at the
superstar
fight,
stuff. My
yo,
bad.
hold on, man. When I was at the fight, I was sitting press row. Everybody on the press row was like, yo, all the journalists, yo, this guy Garcia, yo, this guy Garcia. One guy that was sitting in front of me, he turned around like in the 6th, 7th round. He turned around, he goes, because I introduced myself, I'm the voice of Dominican boxing and so on and so forth. He's like, man, your guy's good, man. I was like, I told you, because he asked me, like, he wasn't familiar with him. I was like, he asked me, how's his style? I was like, he's a bit more on the offensive side, but he's defensively responsible. But he's a good fighter. He was like, all right, we'll see. But then he turned around, the guy's getting. And then I one of the guys that worked for PBC had told me. Well, he didn't tell me. I overheard him. He was like, yo, Garcia's a lot better than I thought. So like he had people buzzing. His name was buzzing out there.
I feel you. That's good to hear. But like, yo, I was gonna say this. Everybody chat this superstar talk. Shakur is backed by Jay Prince. Jay Prince back. You know, Floyd Mayweather early in his career also rap a lot. That sounds great because at the end of the day, we gotta fight the fights because trust me,
Yeah.
I saw Kinks in Shakur's armor mentally, like when he was looking at the clock against Oscar Valdez, when he was complaining too much and shit. Because Shakur is good, but hey, when you come from a certain type of background and you do a certain type of things, there will always be mental markers of fragility there. That
I
hey,
mean,
it would always be a
I haven't seen anything from Shakur to worry me. I think he's a good fighter, and he's in a silver medalist. I know it's not quite as good as a gold medal, but it's what's comes closest. I'm confident in his skills, and
I'm confident in the skills, but mentality wise, bro. Like I'm just
His
saying, like
mentality's fine. Hold on.
yeah,
His
he's been a
mentality's
winner
completely
his
fine.
whole life, man. He's been a winner his whole life.
He's a way, especially after he lost for Robeisy Ramirez, he told himself, I'm never going to lose again. And he's going to make sure that never happens. He's going to make sure he's better, he's smarter, he's quicker, he's, above everyone else. And when you looked at a clock, there was like 15 seconds left in the last round. He knew he was up like
Yeah,
10-1, 11-0, and he already dropped Valdez. And, he'd already known the fight was
I,
over.
I feel you, bro. But at the end of the day, man, you got to also look at it like this: Floyd Mayweather at 130 would never have done some stuff like that. And if you're gonna compare, and like people talk a lot of
yeah,
stuff
but
about Floyd, this, that, the third.
why are we
Floyd
comparing him to
handled
Floyd, one of the greatest of all time? Come on,
time.
bro.
I know, but a lot of people comparing to Floyd. I don't. So I'm just saying, if you're gonna make these silly comparisons, is this Floyd? Even if Floyd was winning 12 rounds, He ain't gonna be looking at the clock. He gonna be looking to take you out on 130. That's when Floyd was the most dynamic and most violent. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, but not everybody's Floyd, and we need to accept that. By the way, I just
I
want
know,
to
I
say,
know.
yeah, I just want to screen share something real quick that
Do
I
you
just
think?
I had pulled up the rankings for 130, and look, so these haven't been updated. So Hector Luis Garcia was ranked number 7. That sounds about right. You know, that sounds about right. And he beat the number 3 guy. So does the number 7 guy beating the number 3 guy, is that enough to jump the number 2 guy or to jump the number 1? I think it is, considering how dominant he was, but they have Rakimov and Valdez in those positions. I want to hear both of y'all opinion as far as considering how dominant Garcia was in his last fight against the number 3 guy. Do you think that's enough to put him at the number 1 contender status?
He should, but you got to remember the reason why they have, Rakimov there or in Valdez there. Rakimov probably has, good people behind him that probably got him there. And also, Oscar Valdez is a former two-weight world champion. Sure. Well, has he ever been a WBA champion?
Who? No,
No,
no.
Valdez. No, so it's
WBC.
WBC and WBO at 26, right?
Yeah, 26 WBO at 30. At 30, he was WBC.
So how the hell is he number 3 in a sanctioning belt organization that he's never fought for a title for?
I'm talking. The rankings I pulled up was from Ring Magazine.
From Ring Magazine, yo, they're super arbitrary. They're super arbitrary.
They have the best rankings. To me, Ring Magazine has the most fair. Usually, obviously, there's anomalies every now and then where I disagree, but for the most part, I feel like they have a good ranking system. Vivi, what do you think of the number 7 guy, Hector Luis Garcia, beating the number 3 guy, Roger Gutierrez? Do you think, since he was so dominant, that puts him to number 1 contender status?
I think it'll be an interesting discussion. I think it's worth clarifying. In my own rankings, I had Gutierrez above Rakimov. I don't remember the last time I saw Rakimov fight. I think it was when he drew with Joseph Diaz in a very close fight. But I think that puts him ahead of Oscar Valdez very clearly. Valdez's last 2 fights was a very tough loss to Shakur Stevenson in a fight that I thought he very clearly lost to Robson Conceição, and he got a very controversial decision. So I think, tying that next to Garcia, cleaning out Colbert and cleaning out Roger Gutierrez, who I had, number 1 and number 3 respectively, well, not number 1. I don't think about Valdez, but he was number 5 for me. Colbert was, and number 3 for Gutierrez. Like, you have to put him you have to put him at number 1. You have to put him at Valdez. You have to put him against an inactive Rakimov, in my opinion.
I want to know when they update these rankings, because it's not updated yet. Obviously, the last time they updated it says it's August 13th. I'm curious as to see where does his ranking in the Ring Magazine go up, because it's an interesting conversation. That it really is. Rakimov, didn't he fight Tevin Farmer as well?
No, but he fought what's his name? He fought Zinga Fuzile and he beat him, but I think he tested positive for like smelling salts or something like that.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Point is, it's interesting because, like you said, Oscar Valdez had that controversial decision against Conceição and then lost in dominant fashion to the champion. And now another guy beat another champion in dominant fashion. And he's already ranked in the top 10, and he beat a number 3 guy. I think it's that performance is dominant enough to push him at number 1. And I hope he gets the fights he wants, man, because like I'm looking at the landscape, and a lot of that division just seems to be on ESPN, like Valdez and
Joel, you know the game like we all know the game, bro. It's all depending on who's behind you, your team, and if they're really willing trying to let these fights happen. Because you gotta understand, Hector Luis Garcia wasn't supposed to do that to Chris Colbert, and I don't think Chris Colbert really would do well against him again. I'm just saying this. So now that the dark horse has been exposed, you're not gonna get them fights beating up on these dudes that they think that they think is
No,
high money.
but there's
You feel me?
incentive because he got a belt. There's incentive to fight Garcia. Before there wasn't. Now it's clear he's good. Everybody know he's a good fighter. But now you know, all right, let me fight. It's either you fight him or Shakur. If you want a belt, two of the belts were with Shakur, one of the belts with Garcia, and one of the other belts is Joe Cordina out in the UK. So the weaker out of those
And all
champions,
those.
it's pretty clear that it's Joe Cordina out of those three.
No, don't say that. Please do not say that. Cordina can fight.
All right, so
Don't
put him in with
say
Garcia.
that.
Go ahead. Let's put him in with Garcia.
I would
Let's see
love,
how it goes.
bro. That's a good fight. That's a very good fight. Hey,
Nah.
you may say, I know you're Dominican. I know you're gonna side with your boy.
Kenichi Igawa, my brother. He not Kenichi Igawa.
Cordina ain't no slouch either. Cordina's an Olympian too, and he's been doing very good out there, man. Just because he outside of these shores doesn't mean he's a slouch dude, bro. I'm telling you.
Hold on. I never said he was a slouch. I just said he's not fucking. He out of the three champions that are actively at the 130, he's the weaker one. That's exactly what I said. I ain't say he a bum.
So.
I ain't say he a easy work. I ain't say he's trash. All I said is Hector Ruiz Garcia, Joe. Listen, just off the ranking system, the champion is Stevenson. Right now, Cordina's number 5 and Garcia's number 7. He just beat the number 3 guy. So even if we just going by the ranking system, which is an unbiased opinion, he beat a guy who's ranked higher than him in dominant fashion. So I don't know where you're going with that, bro. You got to pay attention. If you're going to be on the show, you got to pay attention, bro.
Hey, in dominant fact, which is more dominant? Taking a guy out in 2 rounds or just outclassing a guy over 12? Mind you, Kenichi Agawa, so what you can say whatever you want. He was champion. You can say whatever you want. Cordina slump bull, bad.
No, he knocked him out. He knocked him out, and it's a candidate for fight of the year. But I don't know not one person who thought Kenichi Ogawa was a top fighter.
I think the context is very important when you look at both of these fights and both of their dominance. I thought the first round of Ogawa Cordina was very close. I think I gave it to Ogawa, and Cordina set up a shot very well and landed it. With Hector Garcia, he completely schooled and outclassed who I had ranked number 3 in the division overall. And it just embarrassed a very proven champion, Roger Gutierrez. So I would prefer Garcia's dominance over Cordina's, to be honest.
Because Gutierrez is better than Ogawa. So you get what I'm saying?
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. I'm just talking about this the manner of like how devastating that knockout was. But I agree. I can see. But hey, I thought Chris Colbert was going to do the same thing to Roger Gutierrez. But hey, Gutierrez pulled out, and Luis Garcia got
both of them. What you thought Colbert was going to do to Gutierrez, he did it to Gutierrez and Colbert.
He did.
Give my man his credit, man. My man, you're not being fair. Give my man his credit.
Yeah, bro, I do give him his credit. He's a dark horse that came out of nowhere and did his thing, man. Like, for example, I love the dark horses in boxing. Andre Ward was a dark horse in the Super 6. Now look at him, Hall of Famer. So I'm never going to take dude's credit away. I'm just saying, just to say Cordina's the weakest guy, I think all of them are pretty formidable. Like, no, but let me tell
you. You misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's weak. At some point, if you're gonna put into the rankings, maybe weak is probably what the word you don't like. To me, he's the lower ranked guy. Is that a better wording?
That's better. That's better for me, bro. Because
all right, so there you go. Out of the 3 champions, I have Joe Cordina the least ranked out of those 3. And I think he loses to both Shakur and Garcia.
I think he comprehensively loses to Shakur. Garcia, good fighter. Like I was saying, good fighter. I have to see. I know he did beat 2 high ranked guys impressively, but I would like to see that. But like, I don't know. I'm super sold on Shakur because the way he's beating top quality guys in the fashion he has, bro. It's impressive to me. But like, because when I see Shakur, it's not only at 26, it's at 30, and all the dudes they stepped him up with, boom, 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 boom. He's been looking good against high quality guys. Like, the only reason why I can't really say I'm really super sold on Garcia. like that yet. It's only two. It's only two performances. Albeit those performances were very good. And he has a very good corner around him. So I think Salas can. I think Salas can really, cause upsets because of how good a trainer he is. But like, I'm just like, I'm kind of skeptical. But like, I agree with the shit that you guys did say, because to beat Gutierrez and Cobra in that fashion, that means you're a quality operator. I'm
Yeah,
just saying,
man. We gotta give respect when it's due. Now, listen, when Dominicans, when we fight bad, when they quit, when they run out of gas, I'm the first one to criticize. But when they do good, I want to make sure they get their credit. Like I also felt like Elvis Rodriguez didn't get his credit when he scored two fantastic knockouts immediately after his loss. After the next fight after his loss, he fought an undefeated Olympian and knocked him out on a Canelo undercard. And when people bring up Elvis Rodriguez's name, they bring up that Kenneth Sims loss. That's my problem. So when
I feel
people
you.
bring
Yeah,
up
I feel
Garcia,
you.
when people bring up Garcia, just remember two top 10, possibly top 5, 130-pound fighters got dominated. Clearly. Nobody left that arena going, damn, I think the other guy won. So when you put out performance like that, that needs to get recognized. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I gotta ask you a random question getting off of that. Why do you think Jason Rosario, after the J Rock fight, he was struggling in the Charlo fight, in the Lubin fight? Was he weight drain making 54, or do you think he should have just
That's what I was told. I was told by Samson Lukowicz personally. On camera, by the way. I was told by Samson Lukowicz personally on camera that Jason Rosario used to blow up to 200 pounds after fights. So then
God damn, he's a big motherfucker at 54 too.
Yeah,
He kind of
now,
remind me of Jared Hurd though.
Yeah, now he moved up to 60, and Samson had a long conversation with him and told him, bro, you got to stop that. So now he's not blowing up as much. I'm going to ask him about that when I interview him. I haven't interviewed him yet, but point is, that's what I've heard from his promoter to me on camera. So I don't want people to say, oh, you airing out laundry and this and that. I'm not doing nothing that
we not slow though. We see and we understand like boxing. Like anyone, and like even casual fans, like people who are trying to get into boxing can also see like, oh, this guy's big as fuck at 154.
Yeah,
like for example, everybody knew Jared Hurd at one point in time wasn't going to make 54 his whole career.
Nah, for sure. Nah. But yeah, that's a situation with Jason Rosario. And he moved up to middleweight. So those extra 6 pounds, I know people watching is probably like, well, it's only 6 pounds. 6 pounds is a big difference in boxing. So he's going to be able to rehydrate a little bit more. And again, from what I was told, he is now not going to blow up to 200 pounds, 195 pounds anymore.
You can't trust fighters worth enough to throw them. You know that. But I'm going to say this. Yo, yo, bro. Because fighters know other fighters. I'm gonna say this, yo, Joel. If you've been sucking weight down to get down to 154, pause. Because that sounds crazy. Sucking weight down is ridiculous. Like, yo, if you've been, weight draining yourself to 54, and you that big, and mind you only getting older, bro. Possibly a more healthy weight for him probably be 168. Because think about it. You don't have to really lose like 154 to 160. It's really very close. I know 6 pounds don't it's much in boxing. Trust me. But if you 200 pounds going all the way down to 154, 200 pounds to 160, that's 40 pounds, bro. 200 pounds to 168, that's a lot. But like that's more manageable.
I know what you're saying, but if he's not doing it anymore, because the thing is, from what was told to me, he was blowing up unhealthy. Like he would be good in training camp, training hard, and then afterwards, eating mad fried food and all this and rice and beans, and like as opposed to like, oh, you're not in training camp, maybe you're not training as hard, but you're still eating healthy. So from what I told, his nutrition has changed in between fights. And that's why he's now going to be able to make the weight more comfortably. But Math, I'm about to end this real quick. I appreciate you hopping on, clicking that link. You know, you're always welcome on
Thank
here.
you, bro. Thank you.
Even though
I'm happy for you. I'm
what's
happy
up?
for you, and I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you, and I'm proud of you. I love my Dominicans, man. I just hope y'all love us.
Nah. You wasn't giving Garcia his credit, man. Don't come with that shit now.
Yo, he's a good fighter, man. He's a good fighter. And yo, bro, before I go, I want to say this. I was talking about superstars. You know how people prematurely say he's a superstar, he's this, he's that, the third, bro. Trust me. One day he's a superstar. The next day, how did we not see that? Hey, Hector Luis Garcia can possibly do that to Shakur Stevenson. We don't know.
Hey man, listen, I'm here for it. I'm here for it, bro. So if if that happens, just know I'm going to be very, 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 very happy. And
You're gonna be bugging the fuck out. You're gonna be screaming out, I told you niggas. I told you niggas.
And you definitely gonna want to hop on my live either the day after or immediately after the fight, because I'm gonna be hyped. If we get a three belt unified champion, woo! That's never
and beating
in
Dominican
boxing history.
And think about it. That'd be the biggest win in Dominican boxing history, because look at who he beat. Shakur Stevenson, American's golden child. Yeah, but before I go,
they fought in the same Olympics.
Yeah, but before I go, what happened to Jackson Marina? He was a good fighter, man. What happened to him?
He last fought Frank Martin. Frank Martin like about a month ago on short notice.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. He got stopped, but he took the fight like on a week notice.
Yeah, bro, but like after the Rolly fight, man, like the Comey fight, like I thought he was gonna do a lot better. What happened, bro? Like
I don't know.
He's a good fighter too. Just like
he got away from his being more of a boxer and trying to start brawling more. And I don't think that's gotten him knocked out twice. So I want him to get back to boxing and and focus in.
You don't brawl with Comey. Please don't do that dumb shit. That's one thing.
That wasn't a smart idea. But yo, Math, I appreciate you
Peace,
calling
bro.
in.
Always good talking to you, my man.
Yeah, Peace. Man. I'll holler at you. Guys, if you guys haven't already, hit that like button for me. That's free. I'm not asking you for no money right now. Hit that like button. That's all you got to do. And if you're not subscribed, you came across this channel, you was enjoying the Dominican boxing talk and you answering the questions and the conversation with me and VV, me and Math, definitely hit that subscribe button, please. Helps me out with the algorithm. Same thing with the like button. I ain't getting no super chats, but I'm sure next week you saving your coins to send me $5 so I can buy me a cup of coffee. But all right, guys, I appreciate you. Until next time, peace.